Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into something today that literally affects every single one of us, the architecture of lasting happiness. But to really wrap our heads around this, we kind of need to completely reframe how we look at the concept itself. See, so often we treat happiness like it's a final destination, right? Like it's this magical finish line we cross, and then we just get to chill out and rest there forever. But the truth? It's entirely different. Happiness is a continuum. It's not just one fleeting feeling. It's an ongoing, continuous state of being that's built on deliberate choices. It's the active, everyday process of keeping yourself in this high-energy, hopeful state where you actually feel in control of your circumstances.
Think about your own life for a second. I really want you to ask yourself, why does the joy of a long-awaited promotion just fade after a few days? You probably know this exact feeling intimately. We're constantly convincing ourselves that if we just buy that new house in the gated community or, get that shiny new car or finally nail that huge promotion at work, it's going to bring us lasting joy. But what actually happens? We achieve the thing, we feel absolutely incredible for a brief moment, and then boom, we feel empty shortly after. The novelty of the whole shebang simply wears off. So why does that happen? And honestly, more importantly, how do we fix it?
Okay, let's dive into this. We actually have a concrete blueprint for you today. We're breaking this down into a really actionable framework. First up, the happiness equation. Second, pleasure versus enjoyment. Third, the trap of satisfaction. Fourth, stepping off the treadmill. And finally, the 3 pillars of meaning. Let's get to it.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the happiness equation, deconstructing the myth of the final destination.
So here is the first hard truth we just have to accept. You can definitely become happier, but you can never actually be the happiest. Why? Because happiness is always subjective and totally relative to the people around you. It's like the old saying goes, you don't just want to be happy, you want to be a little happier than your friends, right? You don't just want to be rich, you want to be a little richer than your peers. True happiness isn't some random lottery you win. It's literally the sum of 3 specific variables: enjoyment plus satisfaction plus meaning. If you want to maintain that continuous process of deliberate decision-making, keeping yourself in that energized state, you absolutely have to optimize all 3 of these pillars. And over the course of this explainer, we're going to solve for each one.
Moving right along to Section 2, pleasure versus enjoyment, elevating our animalistic instincts.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates the critical difference between these two concepts, because let's be honest, we mix them up all the time. Look over on the left side, pleasure. Pleasure is instantaneous, it's animalistic, it's basically driven by getting calories to survive or passing on your genes. Think of eating a whole pint of ice cream alone in the dark just to get those quick calories. Because there's no accountability there, it's highly abusable. But then, look at the right side, enjoyment. Enjoyment takes that pleasure and adds logic, rationality, and most importantly, other people. Sharing that exact same delicious food, but doing it in a social setting with a responsible peer group, that completely transforms primitive calorie-seeking into real, memory-making enjoyment. You've elevated the entire experience.
Which brings us to Section 3, the trap of satisfaction, or how evolutionary biology essentially acts as the villain in our story.
So satisfaction is that amazing joy of struggling in pursuit of an important goal. But here's the kicker, Mother Nature actively sabotages this. Let's look at how this builds into what's known as the hedonic treadmill cycle. Step 1, you set a goal. Step 2, you achieve it and you feel completely elated. Step 3, well, here's the catch. Your biology literally forces a return to baseline homeostasis. All those happy feelings just drop. And step 4, you crave more and you repeat the cycle. Our biology purposefully hides the reality of this baseline crash from us while we're chasing the goal. And if you think about it, why? Well, because if we knew this satisfaction would fade that fast, we might literally never try in the first place. Mother Nature hits this biological reset button so we don't just sit around perfectly satisfied forever. If we did, we'd completely stop growing, learning, and surviving.
And you see this biological trap everywhere. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how people are over the moon the day their manager announces a salary increase, but then a month later, when the money actually hits their checking account, they feel totally normal? That mental satisfaction peaked and quickly reset to baseline just to make you strive for the next promotion. Or take fitness. You think getting a six-pack is going to make you healthy and happy forever, right? But once you get it, the excitement fades so fast. You realize pretty quickly that ripped abs have zero to do with true longevity. Or, the classic retirement trap. You think retiring at 55 is going to suddenly give your life meaning and make you significant, but the novelty disappears. You realize that true significance requires long-term commitment, not just taking away your 9-to-5 job.
All right, Section 4, Stepping Off the Treadmill, Ancient Solutions to Biological Traps.
So the crucial point is, how do we escape this endless loop of wanting luxury and validation? Well, we can actually look to the ancient texts of Buddhism and Stoicism. The solution here is to intentionally limit our attachment to material, temporary things. We have to minimize those short-term temptations. How do we do that? By only paying attention to what is genuinely essential, by actively reducing the endless choices we have and just settling for what's best for us. If we stop comparing ourselves to everyone else, we can finally be grateful for what we actually have right now. You've got to reduce wanting what others have and instead focus entirely on what you really want in life, not what society dictates you should want.
And that leads us to Section 5, the 3 pillars of meaning, completing the happiness equation.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is our first pillar, coherence. Coherence is this foundational belief that things happen for a reason. And actually, more importantly, it's the mindset that things are happening for us, not to us. Look, in life, things can be completely random, totally unexpected. They might not make a lick of sense in the moment. But believing in a coherent universe, that gives you a profound sense of control. It gives you the power to get up every single day and take action, even when everything around you feels like pure chaos. Our second pillar is purpose. I want you to think of purpose as your life's compass. It's your North Star. It gives you direction, guiding you to make the absolute best use of your unique skills. First for yourself, then for your family, and ultimately for the greater good. And you know what the beautiful thing about purpose is? You may never actually reach your ultimate destination, but that doesn't even matter, because purpose ensures you know your path. You know the journey you're on, and you inherently believe that you truly matter in this world.
The third and final pillar is significance. Significance is the importance, the respect, and the legacy you gain by serving others. Remember earlier when we talked about those six-pack abs? Well, the people with the greatest health spans at the end of their lives, they didn't have ripped abs. They had significance. They were a vital part of a community. They moved naturally, they ate food aligned with their culture, and above all else, they provided a service and were valued for it. Significance comes from the positive impact you create just by being present. When you believe you have a role in this world and a reason to be here, your life has profound meaning.
Okay, let's bring this whole thing full circle back to our core equation. Happiness equals enjoyment plus satisfaction plus meaning. You've got the complete architecture now. You know exactly how to upgrade primitive pleasure into memory-making enjoyment. You know how to spot that sneaky biological trap of the satisfaction treadmill and how to step off it using ancient wisdom. And you know how to build deep meaning through coherence, purpose, and significance. You literally have the tools now to stop chasing those fleeting feelings and start building a deliberate, highly energized state of being.
I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to carry with you today. Take a hard look at your own life right now in this moment and ask yourself, what legacy or value are you providing to your community? Are you truly building significance, or are you just running on that hedonic treadmill, waiting for the next promotion or purchase to bring you joy? The architecture of lasting happiness is right in front of you. Now, it's just time to start building. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today.